Hi, I'm Sue Boo, bringing crafting to you, and today I'm going to make a mail card, and I've said come craft with me because I'm still in the process of designing. So we're going to use a 8¼ by 11½. So for those of you who are American, you'll have to cut your card down. Sorry, use 12 by 12. For those of you who use A4 size, you just need to cut a little bit off. Okay, so we're going to put it in at the 8¼ inch side, and we're going to score that at 4 1/8. Okay, so we've scored that at 4 1/8. Then we're going to turn it back onto our 11½ inch side, and we're going to score it at 3 inches, but only to the score line. So you can choose either one, it doesn't matter. I'm going to go up, so I'm going to score it. You can do it down as well. So there's my score line, hoping that you can, there it is, see the score line. It's a bit difficult, but there's my score line. So I'm putting my blade on my blade. You have the dashes on the side. If you line that up with the score line, and then we're going to score down. So making sure that you've got it in at 3 inches. So putting it in at 3 inches, and then on that score line, pull it down towards the bottom of your card. And then going to put it along to, now where have I stuffed all my notes, just making sure I get it right. So it's 5 3/4. So you want to go to 5 3/4. So I'm going 5 3/4, and then I'm going to score the whole of that. Okay, so they're from top to bottom. Then I'm going to rotate it round and put it back at 3 inches. This time I'm going to score it, whichever one you've got your already scored one, you're going to put it in the middle of it again, and I'm going to score up this time, so that when you look at it, you've got your big piece, 2 narrow pieces, and a big piece. Okay, I'm going to put it back in my trimmer, and I'm going to line it up again with the 4 1/8, and I'm going to this time get my cutting blade. Now I'm just going to take it, let me just show you. So this is the first score line. It's a bit difficult to see. So there's the score line just there. I'm going to push my blade a little bit up, so I'm going in to this little bit here, and then we're going to take it all the way down to just below the final score line, and I'll be able to show you. So make sure I'm going to shut my blade, shut my bar a minute. So I'm making sure I've got 4 1/8. I am bringing it higher than the first score line. So there's my first score line. I'm taking it fractionally higher, only by 1/4 inch. So we'll do it more precise. So 1/4 inch, and I'm going to take it down to my bottom score line. So I'll just move my trimmer up to my bottom score line, and I'm going to go 1/4 inch over that. Okay. Oh, what's happened there? What has happened there? I appear to have scored this in the wrong place. Let's just double check on that. 4 1/8. How peculiar. 4 1/8 add 4 1/8 makes 8 1/4. So is this sheet wider than? Oh, it's very wonky, this sheet. I don't know what's happened there. That's badly cut. This is not my fault. This is the manufacturer's fault. because I haven't cut this card down. So I'm just going to have to go in and try and level that out. Let's see. So if I can do this, let me cut that off. Oh, did that happen there? So 4 1/8. So I'm going to have to go back in then at 4 1/8 on this side, and I'm going to score it just a bit before and a bit after. And I'm going to ignore the first cut line that I've done. Unfortunately, that will cover up with so much paper. We'll see. I'll make my decision. Right. Okay. Fancy my paper being out that much, honestly. So I'm going to go over with my bone folder. You know me, I like to flatten down my edges, get rid of any burrs. So I haven't got a lot of this card, so I didn't want to restart again. So let's just do that. See if this square is... Honestly, this card isn't... I'm going to have to start again. This card is not square at all. It's supposed to be the standard A4 piece, and it's well out. And that's ruined my project. So sorry about that, but we will start again. And I'll check this, see if this one's square. So look. Yeah, that looks fine. Okay, so I'm going to start again. Apologies for this, but that was way off. Don't know why, so I'm going to start again. Okay, so I'm going to put it in at 11.5. So let's get rid of that, 11.5. So I'm going to get rid of that. And then we're going to put it on, we'll put it on the 4 1/8. So 4 1/8, and I'm scoring. Okay, I'm going to turn it back, and I think we'll do it this way. I'm just going to check that this is 4 1/8 on this side. Oh, that's well out. That's out as well. Let me do 8 1/4. Oh, honestly, this, can you see? I don't know what's the matter here, but there's nothing wrong with my trimmer, and that is completely out at 4 1/8. So I'm going to have to make sure that I score. So I've measured 4 1/8 on this side. That's all right. I'm going to make sure I score on this side. So I'm going to turn that round. That's the straightest side. So I'm going to start with my centre one, which is 5 3/8, and I'm 3/4, 5 3/4. Score that all the way, and then I'm going to see which one was the one that I've scored. Yeah. 4 1/8, is it that side? No, I'm going to do that side. Just double check mine. Yeah, that's my true line, 4 1/8. So I'm going to do all this, and then we'll cut this to this when we're finished. Okay, so I'm going to put it in at 3 inches, and I'm going to score up. So I'm going to put it on the middle score line, and I'm going to do 3 inches, going to take it up. Okay, I'm going to move it around now, and I'm going to put it in on the bottom 3 inches. And I'm going to score it up. Okay, score it up. So I'll just make sure 3 inches and score it up to my middle score line. Okay, so there we go. Right. Oh, no, I want this again, don't I? Sorry. And this is where we come across it. So I'm making sure now I'm on my score line. So I'm going to go, my score lines this time are on my left, so I'm going to go slightly before, about 1/4 inch, and I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom score line and come 1/4 inch over like that. So that now has properly scored down my score line, which I was aiming for. Okay, and as I say, we'll cut that when we fold it and glue it. We will cut the remaining bit off. So I'm just going to go round, flatten all my edges. Okay, flatten all my edges. There we go. There. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get a circle punch that is 2 inches. And what I'm going to do is I'm looking at the centre. Now the centre will be coming up like this on this one, and that will be folding down. But I'm just going to leave it in. Oh no, I need to start sticking, don't I? Sorry about that. Right, before we do anything else, I'm going to stick my DSP on these two here. So these two slimmer parts, just here and here, we're going to stick our DSP on, and our DSP measures 2 5/8 by 4 inches. So I'm going to stick those two pieces on, and why I'm doing that is because I am using my punch to make my opening, and I want this on first so that I can punch through this, because I'm using a punch and not dies, putting it through a die cutting machine. I'm using punches. So I thought, for those of you out there who don't own die machine but you love punches, this is a way of making one of these type of cards using a punch. Okay, so you want 2 of those size. Okay, right, now I'm just gonna over, and you can see how far this is out. You see it like that? It's massive, and I will cut that with scissors to straighten that, so we'll not worry about that. But what I'm going to do is I'm getting my 2-inch punch, and I'm going to look at this score line here, and I'm going to bring in my 2-inch punch, and I'm pushing it as far as I can, and I'm lining it up to the center of this, and I'm making sure it's straight, and I'm going to punch that out. Okay, then I'm going to turn it around, put my hole punch in. So if you go from the center, and we're going to slide it towards this. Oh dear, that's right. You need to cut it a bit more with the hole punch. I'd made this on paper and it worked with paper, but paper's more flexible. So I'm just going to make sure that is my bit. I'm going to take it even further. So I'm going to take it a bit further. There we go. Taking it a bit further. So I didn't press down. So that's, no, that was the way. That's it. So that go up there, that went up there, and get that there. Okay, right, we'll sort that out when we do the rest. Right, now we should have, that's it, as long as you can get your punch in. So I had to take it to about 1 inch going that way and down below. When I did it with paper it worked, but now it's not. Right, so again I'm putting my punch in, and I want to line it up with my center again. So my center's gone on my left hand side this time, not on my right. So wanting to make sure that I've pushed my punch all the way in, and there we go. That's what we're going to do. So while we're on this side, again, I'm lining up to the center. So I'm getting it straight on the center bit. So just make sure you've got that on the center bit. It's a bit awkward with me having that in the way, the camera in the way. All right, so oh dear, come on, that's it. And then again, I'm turning it the other way. This time I'm taking it up, so my center is now on my left hand side, whereas my center became on the right for the other bit I did. And then when I'm happy, got that in the right place, I'm going to move my trimmer and do it hands down there. There we go. Now, as you can see, I've got some curved bits here. So I thought I'll have an oval aperture, I think they're called. So I'm going to bring in a cutting mat. Let me just move my trimmer out of the way. And I've got a sharp knife. And I'm just going to sit my ruler. And I'm sitting my ruler with the edge so that I can come in and just follow the curve of the circle and just take that bit off. And it looks as though I need to do, I didn't press on enough. Okay, there we go. Let's make sure that that's off. And then I'm going to do this while I've got it on this side, then I'll reverse it. So what I'm doing is I'm getting the ruler. So let me hold this up to show you. I'm getting my ruler. So my ruler is flat where the curve comes round the circle there. I'm getting my ruler right against the very edge there and positioning it so it's on the very edge there. So I'm cutting off that bit there. So let's do that. So I'm getting it to the very edge. I'm actually putting my knife in position really and just getting that down and taking it down. Oh, didn't I? Zip. Let's see again. And that should take off that bit. I didn't. Let's go again. So seem to have, I'll take it on the edge now. Oh, there it comes. I just seem to have gone, so I'm just going to nip in with my scissors. Didn't quite get the angle right there, so I'm going to correct with my scissors and I'll watch that on the other one. Okay, so where's my bone folder? So put back in that. So again, okay, what I'm going to do, let's move those out of the way. I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to make sure that I've got that there and I'm taking it to the edge of the circle, and I did it in one with that. So do this again. So I'm going to get it, my knife on the edge of the circle, so I'm tucking it on the edge of the circle and there. Seem to be struggling on the one when I do it on this side. The camera's really in my way. That's it. And if you get any little bits, just go in with your scissors. Whoops. Just go in with your scissors and just round that, because nobody in the grand scheme of things is going to see that at all. Okay, so just come back, just make sure that I'm happy that this is rounding this out. Okay, that's better. And the other way of correcting it is if you stick back in your actual punch, you can actually, there, that's better. So I'll do that again on this one. So to correct it, if it goes wrong, just put your punch back in. It should go all the way in, and just take off that little bit there, and that will give you a better finish. There we go, happy with that now. Okay, so go in your top, get rid of those. We'll get rid of those when we fold it up. Now I'm going to fold this like this, but we're not going to glue or cut anything yet. I'm going to reopen back up, and I've got 2 more pieces, and I'm going to stick these pieces in because these are the back pieces before I glue it down. So I'm going to, I haven't really got, apart from that guideline up there, I'm going to use just the top of this and the centre as my guide to where I'm positioning my DSP. So again, this is 2 5/8 by 4 inches. So I'm going to get this in the middle. Okay, so I am kind of looking at that, but mainly there. So put that in, and then do, oh, I don't want the bottom governing me. Oops, because remember I've got to cut some off, so I was looking at the bottom. I mustn't look at the bottom because we're going to have to cut some off because it's not right. So there, repositioning it. So phew, I'm having fun today. So can't believe that this paper is so out. Never experienced this before. Okay, so now, right, what we're going to do now is we're going to bend the middle into a mountain, and at the same time put the bottom one into a valley. So actually, if you just fold it in half, that works. Haha, silly me. Right, so I'm going to crease that down and crease these 2 down. Okay, so that when that comes over the top, it's like that. It's going to sit like that. Then I'm going to, on this score line, I'm going to push it out. And then I'm just going to go, it's a bit difficult to show you, in with my bone folder. I'm just creasing on that side. So I'm going in with my bone folder and creasing down there. And then I'm going to do the same on the other. I'm pushing it out, make sure it lines up with my top. And then I'm going to go in with my bone folder and just crease that down. Okay, so that gives some sharp crease there, so that it's going to sit like that. Right, now I'm going to come in and I'm going to make sure that this is all right. Now I've got a guillotine, and I'm afraid I'm going to have to bring my guillotine in for this, because this I'm not happy at all with it. Right, so I'm gonna just hold this down. I'm sorry about the camera. Just take that off. That's sorted that out a better. And then I'm going to bring this round. Guillotine up, it's very stiff, and I'm going to put that in at that 4 1/8. That seems wonky. I don't know why that's, where's my 4 1/8? I've got a centre bit that's 4 1/8. In fact, I'm going to bring it down 4 1/8. That centre 4 1/8. Just gonna to make sure. I don't know what's happening there. No, I don't know what's happening there, so I'm gonna have to. seems to be all out. It's thrown everything out. Oh, today I'm having fun. So, right, that will work. Let's just make sure that, yeah, that's good. That moved. Let's just make sure that that's all right. I'm going to cut it with the scissors. Let's move the guillotine. I'm sorry about this. They don't come on for ages and then things are going completely wrong. Oh, not happy. Okay, I'm going to have a drink. So, we will try to sort it. So I think I'm actually going to glue this down first. So what you want to do is just put, let's open it up again. You want to put glue on this panel and glue on this panel only. So I'm just going to get all this glued. I just, as I say, can't understand why this card is so out. So just turn that there, and I'm just going to make sure at the end it's okay. Really crease that down well. I'm going to do the same with the other. Really crease that down well. Okay, take that out. And then I'm going to go along with my scissors now and cut it to the other card so that it doesn't hang over. So I'm showing you when things go wrong how to correct them. So it's not all bad when things go wrong, because it just shows you how to correct things when things are having fun like that. So, okay, there we go. So what I've got now is 2 pieces that I'm going to put on, and these measure 2 7/8 by 4 inches, and I've got 2 of these for the outside panels. Okay. There we go. And I think you can still get this paper. It's trusty tool paper, and I think you can still get it. And maybe last chance, I think. But I just thought it was a great male one. So I'm going to go with that. There we go. I'm going to close it up, and I've got the front piece, which measures 4 inches by 5 5/8. And so we're going to put that on there. At the end, I'll give you a bonus and show you a card that I made a long time ago in this kind of design using a different punch, but I've made this one different measurements. Okay, so I think I might leave the back blank. I will think about that. Okay. Gone a little bit, it's not gone high enough. I'm going to put a bit more glue on there. happy with the positioning of that. Okay. Better. Okay, that's much better. So for the front, I decided that I'm going to, oh, and before we go much further, I think we'll do a bit of stamping. So this card is for my brother. So I thought I've never really used this one much. It was a grandkid sentiment. And I thought, I think I'm going to do this one today. So I'm going to stamp up this here, which is so smart, so fun, so sweet, and so wonderful. So I'm going to stamp that first in basic grey, and then below it I'm going to put we must be related. Actually, I'm going to do it sideways. You'll see why, because I'm going to cut it out. Okay, and then at the bottom, I'm turning it round, I'm going to do brother. So, okay, and so just gonna go. It's got that. Okay, gonna put brother there. Oh, that didn't do it right, did it? Now, okay, so 2 sides to your card, don't forget. So I'm gonna bring brother back in and make sure I get this in the middle, and hopefully I'll get this one done properly. That's better. Okay, right, so let's close that up before we have any accidents. And decided that I'd fussy cut around this, so just gonna weave in and out. You turn your card. So I thought I'd have fun cutting it out. So turn the card. And just around that and go the home straight. I'm just going to cut that, and then I'll curve this round and then go back in and come out again. There we go. Back out, and again. And then turn, go a little bit, and then there we go. So I've done that, and then must be related. I'm gonna go around with this one as well. Yeah. Around it and come back round. Okay, so I've got those two. Now the brother, I want this straight, so I'm actually going to use my little guillotine. So I'm going to put this in our little guillotine and chop my brother sentiment. So think about there, I think. So I'm going to chop my brother, and then I'm going to use my scissors to give it an angle. So I think I'll do the R that way. Now, a way to make sure that your angles are absolutely identical is the piece that you have just cut off, slide to the other end like that. So hold it square. So there we go, hold it square, and then you just cut there, and you know then that that angle is the same as that angle. Okay, so I'll do that. Right, let's bring in again our piece. So on the front, I've cut out from the well said, I've got happy birthday. So I'm going to put those down. So I'm going to put those, and then I've got my brother. I'm just going to go over. Okay. So the brother's going to be at the bottom, and the birthday, and the happy. And I think I'll put, I've got some hammers on there. I might go and, let's see, shall we put a hammer on there, or shall I have a brown? Oh, no, I'm not going to go there. Let's have a look at the saw, because the saw's quite big. So let's have a look. Do I want the saw going across there? So I'm just seeing where I want to position things. So I might put that there maybe. Not 100% yet. I'm just going to see what I want, where I want it, or do I want that on there? Not 100%. Oh, I know. Let's have the paintbrush as though we've painted happy birthday. Let's have a look. So we painted the happy birthday brother. Okay, so take those out of the way for the moment. And I better get rid of those because we don't want them to get messy. So I've got I might use that on the, I'm going to use that on the edge there. So when I cut out, because I'll show you the paper. When I've got things like this, I still cut these out because, like I'm just showing you now, you can always put them at the very edge. So I use every single one of the things that I cut out. So I'm going to put this in first. So I've got this hammer in first, and I put that right at the bottom. So I'm going to make sure that that's going off there. Right, I'm going to then stick a happy birthday brother, but I want to just make sure that I've got the paintbrush in the right angle. So I'm going to put the paintbrush on next. Let's just have a look where the birthday is going to be. So I'm going to stick that to an angle there, and then put the happy. So it's, oops, not upside down. So I'm going to have the happy coming about there, and then the birthday underneath. So let's just put the birthday on. Is it? Got a few glue strings, so I'm just going to get rid of those before. Come on. Missing my long nail that's broke. Okay, so I'll put that coming about there. Okay. And then brother, I think I'm going to stick up on dimensionals. So Where's my dimensionals? Get the dimensionals, and just gonna have just a couple of little ones. Okay. So there. So do I want it? Yeah, I think I will stick it underneath. Make sure it's straight. And let's see what else I've got. I've cut a load of things out. No, I might just have to stick with that. Could have done with a brown pencil, but I don't think I've got a... No, let's have a look. It could come up from the bottom there. Yeah, I think I'll do that up from the bottom there. That's it. There we go. So then we're going to open it up. Right, so I want to do things in there now. So I want to be able to stick tools. Oh, before I do that, I'll stick this on. So I thought we'd have these on the sides here. So let's stick those on the sides. Okay, and that there. And then must be related. And we'll stick that sort of in the middle-ish over this side. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to get a piece of grey. What did I? Oh, it's right before my eyes. In fact, we may as well use some of this now because it's ruined this sheet. So let's just move that out of the way. Move that out of the way, and I'll just remove these tools for the moment and the glue. So I'm going to cut, let me just double check on this here, because I'm going to do it at the top. Yes, 1/2 inch is fine. So I'm going to cut a strip 1/2 inch to start with. So I'm going to cut it all the way right down. And I'm going to cut it 4.5 inches. So 4.5 inches, cut that. And then I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch. And 1/2 inch on the other side. I'm going to score 1/2 inch on the other side. And then that is, I think I wrote it myself down. Where did I do? 2 1/4, of course, 2 1/4. Not trusting myself today because I have had mishaps, so I'm not going to trust myself. Okay, so what I'm going to do is bend the middle, and so that's in a mounting fold, and the 2 outer ones in a mounting fold. Then what I'm going to do, and in fact I just thought I think I had some little tiny pieces of that. I'm just going to see if I have. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think I got a little bit of a piece here, so let's have a look. Yeah, I've got maybe a couple of pieces. Let's have a look. Oh yes, there and there. Let's have a look. There, that one's sticking out a bit. I'm just gonna glue that. Well, I'm going to cut it down first, So I'll just measure. So that is 1 3/4. So I'm just going to take it to 1 1/8. In fact, I'll use this if I can. Just make sure again, not 1 and on this printer I get a bit lost. Printer, honestly, come on brain. That's 3/4, so that would be 6/8, so that it is 5/8. Sure, it's 5/8. 1 and 5/8. Just let me double check. Yes, it is. It's 1 and 5/8. Honestly, 1. Well, there's me 1, and there's me 5/8. So hopefully I've got that right. 1 and 5/8. Cut that off. Just double check. Perfect. 1 and 5/8. And I'm going to cut that 3/8. Now this is not going to be any good, so I'll have to bring back in my trimmer. And there's my blade going off. So I want that 3/8. So 3/8. There we go. 3/8. I'm just going to be annoyed if that's gone terribly wrong. Yeah, that didn't cut right. Honestly, I'm going to do it this way then. Well, I can do it on there. Right, 3/8. Sure, it should be 3/8. Yeah, it should be 3/8. So 3/8. And that's got to be 1 and what did I say? 1 and 5/8. 1 and 5/8. 1 and 5/8. Yeah. Okay, let's do that again. So that's 3/8 we want. And then 1 and 5/8. And 5/8. Okay. So I'm going to put that in there. I'll just move that out of my way a bit. Okay, it's just to use some little bits up, but then it didn't work out for me, did it? So honestly, is all I can say. I'm doing a very bad job today. Please forgive me. Okay. And then the top. Okay. Okay. Right, now what I'm going to do is we're going to put this in here, and we're going to take it just very, very, very slightly below, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Let me just put these on. So make sure you've got the fact. What I've done is I've put it so that it's slightly below, about 1/8 in total from this, I think, about an eighth in total. And what I quickly did is I'm lining that up with that back there. So what I did was, if you push it back like that, and just make sure that they are level. Okay, if you push it flat like that, so that it'll bend in like that, you'll get it right, and tuck those in, and then redo it the other way, so that when the card folds, it will fold in and it will pop out there like that. Now what I want to do obviously is hang things from there, so I'm going to hang a sword from there. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue. Now I've got to be careful because I need the glue on the top bit to be coming down, but I can go slightly, only slightly over this. So when you're looking at it, you'll see the sword going across like that. In fact, I think the sword's too big. So I'm going to put the sword on the back wall like that, so that I can put all glue on it now. I am making this up as I go along, and today normally I'm quite creative and I can just do it, but I don't know what's happening to me today, so apologies there. I'm gonna, because it's such a big piece, I've decided I'm gonna stick it in the background, that's all. Now I'm going to look for another piece that is big, and that's the drill. I've got a drill, so let's just see if I can get this drill. Is it gonna work? Yeah, maybe just get that drill in there. So any of the pieces that will fit on an angle will work. So how did I have that? I think as long as you don't go over, as long as you don't go over your center score line, and of course it's got to clear, can you see it clears that fold as well, so there, so you'll be able to kind of see those tools in there like that. Now I can now go for something a bit smaller, so I'm just gonna put some glue on the top of these, and I'm just going to have to bend down for this to see. I want this to kind of go on here, so I bent down to see what it looks like. So I'm suspending my wrenches coming down, and then I want maybe a hammer. Let's see, yellow hammer. I think I'll still, no, a brown hammer decided. Oh no, I'm gonna see what colour hammers I've got. I'm gonna have to go for yellow, because the reason I'm not choosing brown is that does coordinate with it, but I wanted a different colour, so I'm gonna just stick a little bit of glue at the very top. Thank you for joining me. I've made an absolute mess today. You'll be able to see if you start from the beginning, but I've been having fun. I think it really threw me because the card that I'm using, if you go back to the beginning of the video, you'll see the card was just so out. Okay, so we've got the hammer. So just again, make sure that when you close it, it's going to be all right. So far, that's going to be fine. So I've got some tools there. It wouldn't be the same without having a screwdriver. Now this time I'm going to put some on the front of my screwdriver, because I'm going to have my screwdriver coming across there, so it's coming across the opening. And so what have I got? I've got a wrench like that. I haven't got a paintbrush, so I think I'll have another paintbrush. So again, I'm going to put glue on the front, and then I'm going to make this come out from the other way this time, so you'll be able to see it better when I and just make sure it folds all right all the time. I think when you see the photograph on the front of the video, it will show you like that. Now these side bits, I want them to look like they are the toolbox, so I should have some black dots or brown. I can even go brown, and I might go brown. Let's have a look, because the brown I think are a bit flatter. Let's see what I've got. I'm just looking through my, oh, there are my black ones. Thought I've got, I'm sure I've got, is it that one? There, they're at the back. I think I am going to go, let's see, the black. The black are much higher. If I'd got a black, in fact, I'm going to try grey. I've got a grey. Let's do dark. That's the darkest one I've got. I've got a dark smoky slate, and I'm just going to colour one of them and see if it takes it any darker. Really, I don't think it's doing anything. No, it's not doing anything on this. Normally, if you've got light ones, it will do it. So, oh, there. Right, so I'm going to just have to go for brown, because I just feel, oh, that these will work. So I'm just going to put on there. Come on, what have you got on there? So try and get that about right. I'm going to put one on there, and on there. I say I would have preferred black, but basically the black ones are quite high, so if I come out, they would I've done it again. Why are they springing up on me? I'm just, as I say, having wonderful fun today. Right, so I'm going to put about there. It would have been too much, I think, if that height. Now, I'm not being precise with my handles, I'm afraid. I'm eyeballing it. There we go. And this one here. Now, in an earlier video, you'll have seen that I put something hanging out of some drawers on another one I made. Oh, yeah, yes, I did show you. Yes, I did show you. Right, I'm gonna go for this one here. There. Trying to get it even. I did show you how to get them properly even on the last card that I did. I'm eyeballing these. I think it'll be fine. Remember, it is a handmade card. And these shouldn't I? Put the handles at the top. That there, and this one. About there, I think. Right. Okay. So there makes the drawers. I like that. Okay, we could add some on the front. I think I will. Gonna put one down there, one up there, and where have you gone? Another one just there. Okay, so I'll have those on the front, and then we've got those. So make sure that it closes and opens without anything catching, which it does. You could put more writing on inside if you want. I will then write on the back. Now, I have just got a little bit of card, and I'm into being very frugal with my white. So I did actually, I'll see if this label punch. So any of your label punchers, yeah, that'll do me fine. So that I will stick on to write. So I'll write to my brother on that. Yeah, that side. And so that will be where I write to and from. And just so the back is not bare, I'm going to stick some more tools on here. So we've got nice G-clamp. So maybe stick that there. So it's clamping that. I'm going to again use one of these where it comes up from the bottom. So that's going to go right on the very bottom there. I've got another saw that's just as I showed you that on there. I'm going to put that at the top as well. In fact, I might just put it in this corner actually, so I'm going to put it down there. Let's see what else. Oh, I've got a bit of a paintbrush, so I might put a little bit of a paintbrush up in the middle actually. So that will be there in the middle, and that maybe. Let's see. Let's have a pencil, I think. And that would be your writing. I like that idea that's pencils there, and that I'm going to stick right in the corner, and that might just go over there. That's it, as though you wrote with the pencil the to and fro. So that's my back, that's inside, and then that's the front. So on the front of the video you will actually see inside, because these cards are designed to look at inside. So thank you very much for watching. Do appreciate that. Will fit in a normal C6 envelope. So thank you very much for watching. Do appreciate it. Stay well, stay safe. Bye for now.